How's it going? It's Friday and it's 12. Black Health, Black Wealth. I'm JB Bryan of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm. We're talking about my testimony today. Yes, what a great opportunity to celebrate Black Health, Black Wealth. I'm excited. Thank you for this chance to share my afternoon with you. The last day. I see you. The last day of September. I can't believe it. We're going into the holiday season. That's the way I see it. Yeah, that's right, Star. Incredible. The holidays are among us. I'm gonna wait for somebody else to come into the studio, Star, so you don't have to come out here by yourself. Yeah, so true. But I wanted to talk about the powerlifting. Let me make sure they're always getting me for, for copywriting somebody. But that's my song. Like I can play it over and over and over when I'm working out. Little baby, that's my dog. That's the name of that song, my dog. And I just play it over and over. I my whole workout, like an hour. I put it on repeat so I can leave my phone in the locker and just over and over. I don't know. I just love it. Make you want to just feel like moving. Anything that makes you want to move, I want to hear over and over and just work out. Everybody deserves to have their workout music. This one song, I know my daughter outspeed, deep. Do you have a song like that, Star? That you would just repeat? She's like, no. Who? I don't know. I don't know how I started doing that. I would just listen to a song over and over, especially if it's fast. How you doing, Miss Dixon?
Maybe something old school over and over. Yeah.
Nothing
Like
new
no,
that you would
like
listen over. I
loose
like.
ends, loose end, Jeffrey Osborne, in your
Oh
80s, 70s, and 80s. Yeah, I want to do that.
Lord. Did you
Oh,
do that?
somebody, you know what? There are some new
That's
schools.
what that's what you gotta yeah, you gotta make a special effort to start listening to some new music because
Jazz.
every time they have a party for us grown folk, they always play old music. Like
Jazz.
we don't listen to new stuff.
I do new school jazz, but not the new
Good,
hip hop. No.
good. I'm glad Miss Dixon said she doing fine. Exactly. Well, at least you listen to new school jazz, which most people don't listen to. So I wouldn't know any new jazz at all. We don't even have any new jazz stations to listen to any new jazz. And that's sad. That's
Yeah,
sad.
I pretty much listen to Ty Belly. Sometimes I catch him on Sundays, and I think that's not new school. That's the
Oh,
old
he goes
bebop
back
jazz.
to.
But
Okay.
I'll pick up some new jazz on. It starts with
Somebody
a
out
P.
there working out with jazz.
Pandora.
I
Pandora.
do you exercise with jazz music? I can
No.
maybe do what was I doing the other night? I said, oh, because I want Sundays I'm gonna start doing yoga.
Hmm.
So I was like, I'm listening to some yoga music, and I was still working. Girl, I fell asleep. I was like, why am I sleeping? And then I was like, oh, I'm listening to this stuff. But if I listen to some little baby, I ain't not going to sleep on something like that. So it depends. Like if I was listening to something like that, cool jazz or something, I would have to I would have to be in a rest mode. It would put me out. I was just it would have to be that I'm intentionally trying to rest. you're like you're going down for the count. But in the gym, like I'd be gone. Like, yeah, if I was walking and I just like have to sit down and talk, like, oh, Star. Remember that time I told you I was gonna take you out to the basketball court, like, slam dunk, just like
Yeah.
be out there like a beast, like, that's from listening to that aggressive music. You out there listening to that smooth jazz.
But
With,
you're right. You're right. When I go out to the track, sometimes the young folks they're playing. They have a basketball game going, and they
yeah,
be having that type of music playing.
yeah, we got
Yeah,
to. You
yeah.
have to. I mean, it really does like change your whole, your whole, like that's where you're doing it because you're just like your heartbeat, like, and when you're like an instructor, they get like an app and it tells you how many heartbeats like per minute of that particular song or something, like it will tell them so that they know um what what song to help, so that when they're going like the wind down, they'll do a different song, for the wind down time. I see Weta came in there. I don't know. She don't have her camera on. I don't know when she's riding that Harley. I wonder what she's listening to. What you listen to on that Harley?
Some of the Isley Brothers.
Oh, oh, oh,
Wait, wait, I'm listening to Otis Redding, Tramp. That's what I'm listening.
oh Lord.
No, I'm just kidding. I listen to soca. I really like soca. I listen to it a lot of soca, a lot of reggae,
That's
because
so
then I don't
good.
have to hear a whole lot of
That's
cussing and niggas, bitches, and hoes and all that old dumb stuff. I don't have to listen to all that. They don't. And even if they say it, I don't even know that that's what they're saying.
I
But
listen
anyway,
to it all the time, but I know they ain't talking to me. They're not talking to me.
let's see.
That's where they go. It does not apply. I'm not offended. I'm not offended. They're not talking to me.
See, I am. I can't stand it.
If the shoe fits,
No, no.
look,
I'm
the
gonna mute
funny
out for a minute. I'll come back in a
look,
little bit.
and look, exactly. If it was if it was my song, I'd be like, well, if the shoe fits, I'll let you chill, Star. Thank you. With the I had like a couple of questions that came in about those of you who didn't know. Like I had on the invitation, I shared a picture about the powerlifting. If I was really like organized, I should have like I wonder if I put, if I do, I don't know if it will do. I should have. Oh, I do. I can share this. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna attempt. This is for some reason this one. Oh, that's not the best thing to do. But this doesn't make it the easiest, this particular. But I'm gonna try to share screen on some of the things with the sport that I say chose me. And this discussion today with our Black Health, Black Wealth time today, I wanted to share just my testimony on how powerlifting, I didn't choose, but powerlifting actually chose me. And and so and over the last since I did the competition on Sunday, there were like some posts and comments that I one person that kept just kind of, I don't know, he was he got kind of carried away with negative comments about when I get old, that powerlifting was going to do damage to my body, because he probably would, I guess is nice, thinks that I'm younger than I am. He doesn't realize that I'm what I guess a lot of people already consider old. I mean, I wonder like how old does he think that I got to get? But I'm, I'm already grown. So the but I wanted to share like So this is like me at the bench. And the bench, I was able to set a world record because of my age group. Because of my trainer was sharing that the average for the bench press is about 111 pounds, and I lifted 165. But um, even that 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 111 is not for my age group. That is just for women overall. So when you see women powerlifters that are younger than me that are doing much more than my 165, um, it's showing you their strength. And so I pointed out that I had my right shoulder um, was slowing me down. Then he went into that you shouldn't be doing this, and he assumed that the powerlifting had actually caused some damage to my right shoulder. And he was wrong, because um, my right shoulder actually was hurt because um, and it wasn't had nothing to do with powerlifting. That my right shoulder was hurting because I had actually improved my diet, and I had switched from processed foods. So when I stopped eating processed foods, I had started digesting foods very well. And when I started digesting foods, my gallbladder became irritated. And so I had all this irritation going on, and it was causing pain that was ricocheting up into my right shoulder. So I was, and it was causing like all this burping, and it was causing pain in my shoulder for months. And I was explaining that I realized the connection because I started pressing. When I would press the gas out, because I was digesting so well and so quickly, that it would relieve my shoulder. So I made that connection. So my trainer was saying, "Oh, you must need physical therapy. You must have hurt yourself, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "I don't think it is." So then I continue to eat well, continue to eat well, and I was dropping a substantial amount of weight because I had changed my diet. So my whole lymphatic system was just opening up. My digestion was changing, and my whole body was like going through a detox. And you could just feel it mostly in the right shoulder. So um, the right shoulder was to where you have in your right shoulder a huge it's a major lymph drainage up in this area. And you also have lymph drainage down in your armpit in here. So you have a lot going on in your right shoulder area. And what's frightening to me is a lot of people don't know that that there is a lot of lymph nodes wrapped around in their shoulder, all around in their body. So they're going around even doing surgeries, and they don't realize that they need to change their food, or there's a process going on in their body that is connected to their gut, and they're blaming it on something else in their body. So the I continue to stay the course of changing my diet, and I never went on attack of my arm. And I continued to do my exercise. I lightened up on the weight. I continued to move the lymph. I continued to press the arm, and I just did lighter weight, didn't stop lifting. And then now I don't feel any pain at all. And at all. And if I had not understood myself and stuck to the detoxing process of cleaning up my diet and going through the process of cleaning up my diet and understanding that you're going to see when you're cleaning up your diet, you're going to see your body respond to it. And sometimes it could reflect in a painful way initially. But instead of the but instead the person, and there could be other people who immediately blamed the right shoulder pain, the right shoulder pain. When I said I had right shoulder pain, they assumed that the right shoulder pain was connected to the powerlifting, and that powerlifting was destroying my right shoulder. And not to mention that there are people who have done lifting incorrectly and have had injuries, and that has happened to but I go out of my way to train with a trainer, to train properly and be spotted. And for a lot of women, because of that, it has closed that door to us. As I was saying with one of my high school classmates, I was never given the opportunity to even have a chance to sit on a weight bench when I was in high school, because I've always been fascinated with weightlifting, but I was never given that opportunity. And it was something that my mother saw as that's what boys do, girls don't do that. So I was never given that opportunity to do that. So, what an opportunity that I hope, that women have now. That, one lady walked up to me and she said, "I'm so glad to, how you doing, Ms. Muhammad? What, how you doing?"
I am well. How are you?
Really good. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Good, amen. So this one sister says to me, as she says, her boyfriend was competing, and she said he has been really begging me to get involved in the sport. And she said, but I thought that girls that smile don't do this sport. And she said, I'm so glad to see a girl that smiles doing the sport. And I never even thought about it, but it could be because I'm like, a grown woman. Like I was, probably at least 20 years older than her, maybe even 30. I don't know. I didn't ask her age. Like that, that, that she, that I never thought about like what the other, people are doing. But I know that at her age, I always wanted to do it. And I could not, find a way in. And but I over it's just this year that I said I'm going to do this because I was pulled to it through, I thought that I was going to die. I thought that I was dying. I literally felt that I was near death. That if I did not figure out a way to get stronger all over my body, that I was gonna die. So I know that a lot of people like probably think that, oh, she's just doing that because it's just, this sport, and she's just showing off, and it's just something to do, but it's very scary. And I didn't have any family support, that it's it's very alone. um you don't, it is, and it felt so good because this time my daughter was able to be in town, and to hear her say, "Mom, I'm so proud of you," to see me saving my life. But I was dying. My legs were weak, and I felt that my heart needed help. And I knew that I was going in the direction of so many other people that I had loved and watched die. And when you see the same things happening to you, if you do the same thing, there's what can, what, how can anything be different if you're doing the same thing that they're doing? You have to do something different. So I had to do something different. I had to do something extreme. And just going somewhere and and sitting and asking somebody, what type of medicine can I take for this, was not the answer. Because I'd seen my dad die with a bag of medicine the size of people's overnight bag. No. And I knew that wasn't, and I've seen crack addicts live longer and better than my father. So I knew I had to do something different. So when somebody like picks on a sport that saved my life, I just felt like I had to take a minute and defend a life-saving, especially when I saw one of my clients click like on his comment when he said, "Why don't you focus on your brain and stop lifting weights? Just focus on your knowledge." If I'm dead, I can't share my knowledge. And why can't I live and be healthy? And why can't we as a people be healthy? Why can't we be healthy? Why can't we be healthy and knowledgeable? Why do the smartest among us have to just die? Like my father, a PhD, and all he had the opportunity to do was work and die. Because he could not figure out what was missing, because he never knew that if he got strong, that his legs and his muscles could help push blood back to his heart, and that could reduce all of those blood pressure medicines that they had him on that killed his kidneys, so he's on dialysis for the rest of his life, and missed dialysis one day and goes into the hospital and gets an infection and dies because his body's not strong enough to get the dialysis to fight off the infection. It's just all of this, because nobody said, as you age, we need to make sure that we're not just smart, but that we're also strong, that we can't just walk down the street. Because as we're walking down the street, because this is what the prescription is. This is what the prescription is. Because a cardiologist told one of my clients the other day, all I want you to do is sit and do aerobics, and that's it. Just sit. I want you to sit and do aerobics, and that's it. I said, seriously, that's what he told you to do? That's what she interpreted his instructions for her to do. Sit now for the rest of her life. She said, because he's worried. He doesn't want anything else to happen. But all she's had is a minor heart attack, they think. They think from a blood work that she might have had a heart attack. So from that, they came to the determination she's not short of breath. She's just a beautiful woman who's now told for the rest of her life to just sit, not do as much as you can, or not let's monitor this. Let's not sit. To sit. But there's now extensive information available for you to consider the importance of getting resistance into your walking program so that you can have muscles that will help you move the blood through your body so that your heart will have some help. The answer is not take your blood pressure medicine every day. That's not just all you have to do. We have to have discipline and avoid these processed foods. We have to get the discipline that when we open that beautiful refrigerator right there, glad that she turned on that camera right then. Look at that beautiful refrigerator. What is in that is life or death. What is in it is life or death. I was telling you about that. All I did was change from no processed food, no sugar, no added sugar, no milk, no dairy products. No, you don't have to have ice cream. No, you don't. You don't have to have ice cream. You don't have to have cake at Christmas. You don't have to have cake on your birthday. Somebody's out there. Everything in moderation. What a big lie. One of the worst statements in the world that I hate. Everything in moderation. So just a little bit of crack or just a moderate amount. Everything in moderation is like the dumbest phrase ever committed. Like ever. Like, and we just like, we think it's okay. I don't know. But it's not like we have to like commit to like what kind of lifestyle do we want 20 years from now? And that's how powerlifting called me to it. They said it just said I need to make you strong now for the years down the road. I need to make you not want to sit at that desk and kill yourself for the rest of your life. I need you to want just a little bit more out of this life. I want you to know that you deserve more out of this life. I want you to know that I know you started this business, in your 20s, but you deserve you deserve to have an opportunity to live. But you have to you have to want that for yourself. If we don't want that for ourselves, then it's like not going to happen. And we have to set up a health plan in order to make that happen. Like, we have decided like, oh, the health plan is that we're going to go to get a annual visit once a year. Once a year, visit to the doctor and watch what you eat because they're going to check your blood. The next week is not going to work. It's not going to work. I call this picture, I saved this on my computer as praise God. At first, I hated it because my head really shouldn't be up like that. Because I'm cramping my neck in the back, and it causes tightness back there. I'm picking up 302 pounds. But that should just look straight on. But I think I was like so much like at that point I had never picked up over 300. So I was just like, I'm picking up over 300. And I'm like, thank you, God. I mean, I was literally talking to God. So I was so busy focusing on God that I forgot my form. But that's okay because I didn't have any major cramping. But I definitely was like, it is not what you want. Not what you want to do on purpose. But it's amazing how they can like make it. But I remember my trainer was like, don't worry about going over 300. Don't worry about going over 300 at the competition. But what happens is, I love it that everybody's name popped up. What happens is, like, once you get to the competition, your adrenaline starts rushing. And they were like, I had already set that world record at 280. And they were like, do you want to go again? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, so then I broke my own record. So now it's in the record book for 302. So I was able to break the record. So at least it's in there over 300. But once you get, press yourself. And I pray for the rest of my life that I'll be able to just continue to break my own record until somebody else, but at least I'll be making it hard for the person to come behind me. Give them a challenge, right, Ms. Davis?
That's right.
Give them a challenge. Give them a challenge. Don't make it easy.
Just make sure you keep your socks.
Yes, look, there you go. There's Dom socks. I don't know if y'all were listening on Wednesday night where I was saying I forgot my socks, but look, they look like they were meant for me, right? They blend right with my shoes. That was crazy, right? They were red that he brought. They could have been green. That's the grace of God. That's the grace of God. I mean, one thing that I know for sure now, that what God has for you is for you. The fact that I walked in and they said, like, because I had everything going on in my personal life and every excuse to say I'm not going to this competition. Every excuse, every good excuse to just say I can't do this one. Right? And then, but I said, no, I'm going. And if I had not, I would not have set those world records. I don't know if the next one will be. I think those particular meets may be only once a year where you can set that record. You know what I mean? Where those are available for the record. I don't know. I don't know if the next one I'll do where it's eligible. You know what I mean? Because these were particular things. I don't know all of that. I just know that they walked up to me and they said, this is for a world record. Like, and I was like, oh my, that's not why I went. That's just God. And I got all nervous. And God was like, you got to calm down. So it taught me also that we have to stay centered, which we talked about last week about prayer and meditation. It made me realize the importance of prayer and meditation. And it made me realize that is like a place where I want to grow. I want to grow where no matter what is going on the outside, I want to learn where I can center myself, where there could be all sorts, there could be a tornado, but y'all can look over at me and JB is centered.
That's right, JB.
Praise God. And that is the greatest gift to give to ourselves. Because when you can do that, nobody can fuck with you. And I say that in the most gracious way. But we just go through our life letting people get to us and things get to us. You know, when people are like quitting their jobs, Miss Davis said I'm speaking in tongues there. You know, people just quitting their jobs because people getting on their nerves, people so and so. But what if we were so centered that we really did not care about anything they thought, anything they were doing? We were just connected with God's will. We trusted God so much that we knew He had us. That we were just walking. We were just walking. That's where our strength has to come from. So one thing I realized that it's our mental strength. Because when I messed up on my squats, I realized that God didn't have me out there just for my body. Like He pushed me into powerlifting for my mental strength. His like and He told me into something that he put me into something that wasn't about my body, wasn't about me looking good. It's not about look, I don't get to be pretty, I don't get to have any makeup, I don't get to have, nothing like that. My hair doesn't get to look nice. None of those things that traditionally at the beginning of my life it was everything. All of that. I used to be in beauty pageants and everything. You would have never saw me in anything like this. And none of those other things, makeup and lashes and all of that, none of that gave me that mental challenge of this and the physical benefit of feeling my legs and my feet get the increased circulation and the mind and body and the spiritual connection that God is requiring of me at this advanced age. And amazing that He didn't ask me to do, anything. He didn't say, I want you to be a bodybuilder because I want to see your butt pop out. And I want to see you. I want to see your little yellow boobs. God didn't ask that. And that's something. He didn't. He said, I want to do this for the inside of you because I want to make you, I want to build you from the inside. I want to show you who you really are. And I want to make you know who you are. That's my testimony. Because even at my most beautiful self, that the world would have thought I was, at my most beautiful, I didn't even know who I was. Now here I am at what the world thinks is my least beautiful. I know who I am. And I don't care what they think. I just know, finally, I know God loves me. And I know I feel better. And I know I'm alive and I want to be alive and I want to help somebody want to be alive. I want to help somebody feel better cuz I know how it is to not want to be alive, like just like feel like whoo, it would be better to just be dead. Like God, I'm ready for you. Just go on and take me. I know how that feels. And I know because of knowing that, I know how good it feels to be like this. Like, God, this is good. And all I can do is want to bring other people into that place of joy. I want to bring like joy, health, like, and do you know how much of your happy feeling comes from your gut, not from your man, not from your woman, from your gut? Sometimes your food choices are making you feel miserable like that. And people don't realize that. Like it could be Pizza Hut making you depressed. Mm. Did you know that, Chris? Hey, Chris. What you doing, Chris? You all right? I don't know. Chris is quiet. When Chris is quiet, there's a problem. But I know, Ms. Muhammad, I know that you know about that food and mood connection.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
And so many, I know, and I don't even think that it's discussed a lot enough that
It's
the
not.
gut, you know, so like when people go in and say, "Oh, I'm depressed," you know, that it's they don't ask like, "What is your regular diet?" You know what I mean? What did you eat this morning? Or what did you eat yesterday? What do you eat? You know what I mean? Like, and then supposedly, I guess it's because of not, you know, don't have time, but you know, in the regular system.
And it's
I know,
also your thoughts.
I know if somebody came to see you, you would ask them like, what did they, you know what I mean? You would ask, what did they eat? But
Yeah.
traditional medicine is not, you know, doesn't ask that stuff,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But we could discover a lot, don't you?
Yes.
Wow. And there's so much more to be discovered. Like, what if you like found out what we if we really explored it and they found out, well, you know what? They do have research, especially like with kids' food, where they found out like the red dyes and stuff like that causes
Right.
aggressive behavior in kids and things like that.
Right. Right.
That's that's really something.
Yes. It
But
affects their thinking as well.
but they don't but they don't share it with the parents at the food store. Like say like you had it at the counter where they were selling the red punch like they have on cigarettes, so that they would say, you know, hello parent, red dye has been connected to, you know, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Just so
Right.
you know. Just so you know. Food warning. Food warning. You know what I mean? Da 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 da. Blah 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 blah. But instead, they're putting them on these drugs on the kids. You know what I mean? Because the parents don't know why the children are acting like that. So they think the kids have these, you know, problems.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So the same things that are happening with the children are happening with you, you know, and then sometimes like you I'm you know and I'm saying that, you know, the parent will eat better than the child. Like don't feed the child anything that you wouldn't eat. And I really think that that's important. Like, you know, we you know, and you go, well, like I'm not going to give them that. Well, then you know, you really that's not correct. Like why would you feed them something that you wouldn't eat? If you don't eat chicken nuggets, why should they eat chicken nuggets? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't get it. Like, why? but I don't know. I'm sorry. I see you, Miss Dixon. Yeah, thank you. But it's something that we really need to, that it's like just become a habit or like, and if you why don't like I remember growing up and it was like fruit was a luxury. Like, the fruit would be, that's for your dad. Like, you know, no, everybody needs fruit. Everybody needs fruit. Everybody needs healthy stuff. Everybody needs, everybody needs the good stuff. We all need the good stuff. We all need to be healthy in that house. And anything that you're doing that, like if you're drinking, your child is going to drink. Just know that. Like, don't think, well, okay, I'm drinking, but that's what grown folk do. All you're doing is preparing that child to drink. I mean, I don't understand why if you smoke, you're teaching the child to smoke. If you do drugs, you're teaching the child to do drugs. I mean, it's gonna be really, really darn hard unless you really, really, really like, I don't know, like it's gonna be really, really darn hard, like for the child not to do what you do. It does happen. It does happen. It does happen. But it's really, really hard. Chris. Oh yeah, Chris. Yeah. All right, Chris. Chris, you back. Deal. But it does. It. And I think that we like really take it like for granted that we think like, oh, I didn't even like they have certain like I think it's called like think mocktails, like fake, drinks like for kids. Have you seen that? Like little things to look like even like Shirley Temple at the restaurant. Like they're trying to prepare kids to drink alcohol. Like, and they'll give them like a, you know what I mean, Shirley Temple to drink, while the parents are drinking alcohol. But they have something now called like, but they call them like mocktails and or whatever. But it's like it's it's non-alcoholic, you know what I mean, stuff. But for you know what I mean, but you're preparing young people to drink alcohol. All they're doing is preparing them for something that's not necessary for their life. I mean, we're acting like it's like gym, like a young gym, like it's something that they need to do, like a mini marathon. Like a mini marathon is something to prepare a child for. Uh, you know, Bible, like child Bible study. That's something to prepare a child for. You know what I'm saying? Like, for to a relationship with God. But you're not, you know what I'm saying? You do not have to like prepare a child for something that they don't need to do. And certainly not something that's not good for them. So a big part of like your health maintenance plan should be to create health habits for your household. Like, thank God my child works out today. And I believe that it's a big part of her life because it's always been a big part of her life. Like when she was 6 months old, we started doing activities. Like she started swimming. We went to swim class. She learned how to swim before I could swim. I saw her to swim. I was so afraid of the water that I got a babysitter that could swim that got in the pool with her because I was afraid to swim. Then when she could swim, then I took swim lessons. I was like, I wanted her to know how to swim before I could swim because it was that important for me for her to know how to swim. We should want them to be better than us. definitely should not want them to be, less than us. We want them to be more than us. Praise God. Advance them, right? Advance them. I'm gonna stop sharing. But so what would you say also? Chris, do you want to say like what you feel would be or has been as a healthy person who's grown a big part of your health maintenance plan? Look, she said she was look, Chris, don't be getting on my nerves. Don't send me another note. The so you please share, Ms. Muhammad, what do you think is a key to a good health maintenance plan? And then Star, you get ready and sit your little self down.
What is key to a good health
Yeah,
maintenance plan?
yeah, what would you say? Like to what has worked for you personally? What do you think?
What has worked for me
Yes.
is getting to know my body first, so I
Mm, mm,
know what to apply to my body.
mm,
Because everybody is not the same.
mm,
What requires for my body might not requires for yours. So once you do that, and then I apply what it needs. And sometimes the body is like an onion. It has priority things that you need to take care of first, like the heart, the brain, before you take care of something else, because that would directs everything else of the body. It's a balance. So I'm into nutritional health response testing. So that
mm,
allows me to get to know my body and what my
mm,
body needs. And there, from there, that's when I start planning
mm, mm,
exercise routine or
mm,
my habits of eating, what I'm going to eat. Certain fats I can't even eat. Like I have just
mm,
been told that I can't even eat fruit sugars, no fruit at all right now. Not saying
mm,
that I won't have to do this for the rest of my life, but
mm,
for now I cannot take that in.
mm.
Some
Ah,
things you don't have to eliminate for the rest of your life. You just
that's
have
right.
to know when the body can tolerate it and when it cannot
Right.
tolerate it.
That's
And
right.
then you
That's
have to, let it go for a while. I
that's
also been told that I have to lay off the Celtic salt for a few because I was drinking
mm,
it, trying to get all my water in. And I was putting a little Celtic salt, like a teaspoon
mm,
or a tablespoon of Celtic salt in my water, and also lemons and limes, because that helps the water to actually get into the cells.
mm.
Because we'll drink water all day, but if it doesn't
Amen.
get into the cells, it's not hydrating the body.
Amen.
So yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do first.
The warm lemon helps me.
Yes,
That has helped me. Yeah, I've noticed I'll do some warm lemon before I go to the gym in the morning.
that's
And
good because it's
yeah,
it's like room. It's like body temperature. We should not really. I mean, we can do what we
yeah,
want, but
because you remember I
ice
used to
cold
do
things
yeah,
and ice hot and real hot things, it's just like breast milk. It's room. It's
yeah.
body temperature.
And I was a ice cold everything
Yeah,
before that. And I've noticed a big difference in my mobility because I
yeah,
used to have to warm up for so long.
yeah.
And now with that warm and the lemon water, it has helped. You're
Yes,
right.
it's a
Thank
cleanser.
you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. In addition to that though, yeah, I
Yes,
do have to do that, kind of give myself some extra time.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
But yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, ma'am.
Just getting, so you say like just taking the time to get in tune with yourself,
Yeah,
and,
because the body talks.
yeah, and getting to know a good health practitioner like
Right,
yourself, yeah, can be
right,
helpful. Exactly.
right,
Good
right,
point. Good
right.
point.
Because
Yeah.
the doctor's not gonna really tell. A good doctor would, but most of them,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
working with FDA and the pharmaceuticals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like medication. I like the natural way of things.
Sherry asked me, how did I alleviate the pain? Um, the interesting thing, Sherry, is that when you have a clog, where I was saying about when I changed the food, um, and then the lymph started opening up, and I had that pain, that like you'll find the lymph was like a lymph node was clogged. Um, and when the clog when as soon as that lymph nodes opens, like the pain will go away. Like um it just went away. Like once, but you just have once it goes away. But what happens is the lymph node was clogged for so long that I had to slowly strengthen the arm to be as strong as the other one. So so the healing really was in getting the muscle to be equally as strong as the other one. Even though this right arm is my dominant arm, it had to catch up with the left and get past it again because I'm right-handed. So here you are with your dominant arm. But when it was clogged, girl, it was like you can't even, I couldn't even, like, you know what I mean? Take this and put it up on the shelf. Like them lymph nodes are no joke. And the and I'm just saying like that's, but have to, like, you have them throughout, like you just can go through your body and just feel, and you'll feel my family, I know my mom, like my mom doesn't know it, but I know my mother has the same thing. Like, because my body is so similar. I learned a lot of things from looking at my mom and watching my mom. And the and and a lot of my gut stuff, and um so what the gut stuff my mother did, she went through surgery because they didn't tell her. She didn't know, and I learned from her, so I was able to avoid some surgeries because they did surgeries and they didn't she didn't know about alternative stuff, and she didn't know about changing her diet and avoiding it. But I had no idea how sensitive I am. I thought I was the type of person that could eat anything. I was like, I'm the youngest. I can eat anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought I was that one. I was like, I'm like, blah, 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 Cookie Monster, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not that one. I'm a sensitive, very tender. You got to be careful with me, gentle. We have to get to know ourselves. We just like become who the world told us we were supposed to be. We
That's right.
become, you know the truth, we become what is convenient for them to tell us. It was convenient for that,
That's right.
for that. So you just be it. But now we're grown and we have to take the time to take care of ourselves. We deserve this. What's your key, Star?
My key is or was I didn't want to be a product of my environment, meaning that I watched my parents, I watched their parents and their foreparents and their siblings, and how then I started looking outside of the home, how everyone was on the same medication, had the same ailments,
Amen.
how they sometimes some people couldn't afford their medications, so they were sharing medications. And everybody just, I didn't want to be a product of my environment. So by me
They
working
do.
for the government, and they offer um, health and fitness, the facilities,
Amen.
they gave us the time to do it. Um,
Amen.
and I started paying attention to myself because I didn't want to pass away with those same ailments, the same duffel bag of pills, 18 bottles of
Exactly.
pills.
That's
So
right.
it pointed me in the direction of being more disciplined, paying attention to what I ate,
Beautiful.
taking every opportunity to learn and grow. And with that, I took every class that was offered, whether it was nutritional or physically working out. And
That's right.
that's been my motto ever since. I'm not perfect. I would never tell anyone that I am a vegetarian. I'm vegan. I eat mostly plant-based. I'm spinning around in the kitchen now trying to eat something before I log back onto work. You know, I'm making barbecued mushrooms
I
and
love it.
some collard greens.
I love it.
So that's what helped me.
That's right.
Not try to
That's
spread
so
it to
good.
others, and there's always someone that wants to know what you do, what you did, how you do it.
Amen.
Come out of my mouth. I eat mostly plant. Oh, I can't do that. I'm like, well, I'm not going to say anything else to you. Okay. And that's it.
He said, "You asked me, and I tell you to cut you off."
The
He
first
said,
thing come out of my mouth, and they was like, I can't do that. Okay, cool. You do you.
"Exactly." But it's beautiful. That's right. You look like that. You look healthy, and for a reason. That's why you look that way. That's a blessing. That's a blessing, and that's so good, and it's inspiring. But you can't do, you can't do the same thing and expect different results. Like, low. I was just looking at something the other day, and it was talking about the risk of even going to a restaurant and the dangers of eating, restaurant food. And it was talking about like this, even if you get the same, collard greens and barbecue mushrooms, like, the additional sodium and sugar that you would be getting that you would have never put in, when you cook it, that people don't realize that they're getting. No, so if you just will cook for yourself, what a difference it'll make. So, the bottom line is take the time to develop your own plan for yourself, and realize that things aren't always that, the way that they appear. As far as, from my testimony, that it had, very little to do with the showmanship of powerlifting, and had everything to do with saving my life, and strengthening um, a weakening body. And I, just thank God for saving me, and giving me something that really fit. And I pray that God will keep me healthy, and use me to do His will. Will hopefully inspire someone. But thank you so much, Star. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ms. Muhammad. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Thank you, Ms. Dixon. I was making comments. Thank you all so much for just being cool as lemonade. Y'all are just so cool. I appreciate y'all. Y'all my dogs. Y'all my dogs all day long. My pretty little dogs. Y'all, my pretty dogs. Pretty, pretty. Yes, y'all are. You be safe too. Y'all be good. Be safe. Be well. You're so blessed. Take care. See y'all soon. Hopefully before next Wednesday, but if not before. I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics, a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. Love y'all. Thank you. Yes, indeed, Chris. So he's trying to type to me and you ain't talk to me.